Right now, someone weaker than you is winning. Not because they're smarter, not because they're more talented, but because they don't break when life hits them. They take the punch, stay standing, and keep moving forward while you're still on the ground wondering what happened. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Your emotions are a weakness, not because feeling things is wrong, but because you let them control you. You react instead of respond. You collapse instead of adapt. You let a bad day become a bad week, a rejection become a crisis, a setback become your identity. But what if I told you that becoming emotionally unbreakable isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending to be tough? What if the real secret is hidden in your nervous system, in mechanisms most people have never even heard of? Scientists have discovered that emotional resilience isn't just a personality trait. It's a biological system you can train, strengthen, and master. And once you understand how it actually works, you'll never be the same person again. This video will show you the hidden science behind emotional immunity. The kind of knowledge that separates people who crumble under pressure from those who become stronger because of it. By the end, you'll know exactly how to rewire your nervous system, control your emotional responses, and build a mind so strong that nothing can shake it. Let's start with something most people get completely wrong. The 90-second rule that changes everything. You think emotions last for hours, days even. That heartbreak, that anger, that anxiety, it feels like it's consuming you for weeks. But here's what Harvard neuroscientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor discovered. The actual chemical lifespan of an emotion in your body is only 90 seconds. Think about that. 90 seconds. That's it. When something triggers you, your brain releases a flood of chemicals. Cortisol, adrenaline, all the stress hormones. But these chemicals naturally flush out of your system in less than 2 minutes. So why does your anger last for hours? Why does your sadness stretch into days? Because you keep re-triggering it. You replay the conversation in your head. You imagine what you should have said. You build stories about what it means. Every time you do this, you restart that 90-second chemical cycle. You're not a victim of your emotions. You're actively choosing to keep them alive. MRI studies show that when you simply label what you're feeling, when you say, "I'm feeling anxious" or "I'm feeling angry," something incredible happens. Your prefrontal cortex lights up and your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, calms down. Just naming the emotion gives you back control. So here's your first weapon. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't fight it. Don't suppress it. Just wait. 90 seconds. Name what you're feeling and let the chemical wave pass through you. Most people never learn this. They think they have to do something, fix something, react to something. But the strongest move is often to do nothing and let biology do its job. But there's something even more powerful hiding in your body. Something that controls whether you stay calm or spiral out of control. And most people have no idea it exists. Your secret reset button. There's a nerve running through your body right now that acts like a biological remote control for your emotional state. It's called the vagus nerve, and it's the reason some people stay ice cold under pressure while others fall apart. This nerve connects your brain to your heart, your lungs, your gut. It's constantly sending signals back and forth, deciding whether you're safe or in danger. And here's the key. You can train it. Scientists call it vagal tone. People with high vagal tone recover from stress faster. They handle conflict better. They don't get stuck in emotional loops. Their nervous system knows how to shift from panic mode back to calm mode. People with low vagal tone, they're the ones who can't let things go, who stay angry for days, who feel anxious for no reason. Their nervous system is stuck in threat mode, and they don't know how to turn it off. But here's what changes everything. Vagal tone isn't fixed. You can strengthen it just like a muscle. Cold exposure is one of the fastest ways. When you expose yourself to cold water, even for 30 seconds, your vagus nerve activates. Your heart rate variability increases. Your body learns to stay calm when it's uncomfortable. That's why people who take cold showers regularly report feeling more emotionally stable. It's not willpower. It's biology. Slow breathing works too. When you breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6 counts, you're directly stimulating your vagus nerve. You're telling your body we're safe even when your mind is screaming that you're not. The people who seem naturally calm, they're not special. They just have a trained nervous system. And now you know how to train yours. But even with a strong vagus nerve, there's still one thing that can destroy your emotional stability. And it's happening right now without you realizing it. The invisible scanner that controls your life. Your brain is constantly scanning for danger. Not just physical threats, but social ones. Rejection, judgment, abandonment. This scanning system is called neuroception, and it operates completely below your conscious awareness. Before you even know why, your body has already decided if a situation is safe or dangerous. And here's the problem. For most people, this system is broken. If you grew up in chaos, if you experienced betrayal, if you learned early that people can't be trusted, your neuroception gets miscalibrated. It starts seeing danger everywhere. A friend doesn't text back? Danger. Someone gives you feedback? Danger. You have to speak in a meeting? Danger. Your body is trying to protect you, but it's protecting you from threats that don't exist. And every time it signals danger, your emotional system goes haywire. You feel anxious, defensive, angry, and you don't even know why. This is why some people can handle criticism while others crumble. It's not about confidence. It's about whether their nervous system interprets that criticism as information or as a threat to their survival. So how do you fix it? You have to teach your body what safety actually feels like. This sounds simple, but most people never do it. They're so used to operating in survival mode that they don't even recognize what calm feels like anymore. Start by noticing your environment. Right now, look around. Are you actually in danger? Is there a real threat in this moment? Your thinking brain knows the answer is no, but your body might not believe it yet. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Take a slow breath. These are signals of safety. You're teaching your nervous system that this moment, right now, is okay. Do this enough times, and your neuroception starts to recalibrate. It stops seeing threats in every shadow. The people who seem unshakable, they're not fearless. They just have a nervous system that accurately detects when they're actually safe, and that changes everything. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, one skill that separates people who control their emotions from people who are controlled by them. The superpower. Nobody talks about. Most people think self-awareness means knowing your personality type or understanding your triggers, but there's a deeper level that almost nobody reaches. It's called interoception, and it's your ability to sense what's happening inside your body. Can you feel your heartbeat without touching your chest? Can you tell the difference between anxiety and excitement before your mind labels it? Can you sense tension building in your stomach before it becomes full-blown stress? Most people can't. They're completely disconnected from their internal state. So by the time they realize they're angry or anxious or overwhelmed, it's too late. The emotion has already taken over. But people with high interoceptive accuracy? They feel the emotion building before it explodes. They catch the early warning signs, and that gives them a choice. Research shows that people who can accurately identify their internal states are significantly better at managing their emotions. They don't get blindsided by their feelings because they see them coming. Here's how you develop this. Several times a day, stop and scan your body. Don't judge what you find. Just notice. Is your jaw clenched? Is your breathing shallow? Is there tension in your shoulders? The more you practice this, the more sensitive you become to your internal state. And the more sensitive you become, the more control you have. You start catching emotions in their early stages when they're easy to redirect. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you combine interoceptive awareness with something called emotional granularity, you become nearly impossible to shake. Emotional granularity is your ability to precisely identify what you're feeling. Most people have terrible granularity. They just know they feel bad or stressed. But there's a massive difference between feeling disappointed, frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed. Each of those emotions requires a different response. Studies show that people with high emotional granularity are more resilient. Why? Because when you can precisely name what you're feeling, your brain treats it as information instead of a threat. Your prefrontal cortex stays online. You can think clearly even when you're feeling intensely. So stop saying, "I feel bad." Get specific. Are you feeling rejected, disrespected, uncertain, overwhelmed? The more precise you are, the more power you have. Now here's where most people make a fatal mistake. They think becoming emotionally unbreakable means avoiding stress. It doesn't. It means training yourself to handle it. The vaccine for your mind. You know how vaccines work, right? They expose you to a weakened version of a disease so your immune system learns to fight it. Emotional resilience works the same way. Scientists call it stress inoculation. You deliberately expose yourself to manageable levels of stress so your nervous system learns to handle it. And the research on this is clear. People who face controlled challenges early in life develop stronger stress responses later. Think about it. Why do athletes perform better under pressure? Because they've trained under pressure thousands of times. Their nervous system doesn't interpret competition as a threat. It interprets it as a familiar challenge. You need to do the same thing with emotional stress. Not by seeking out trauma, but by deliberately putting yourself in uncomfortable situations while they're still manageable. Have a difficult conversation you've been avoiding? That's training. Do something that scares you socially? That's training. Push yourself physically past your comfort zone? That's training. Every time you face discomfort and survive it, you're teaching your nervous system that discomfort isn't dangerous. You're building what scientists call hormetic stress, small doses of stress that make you stronger. This is why people who never face challenges are so fragile. Their nervous system has no reference point for handling difficulty. The first real obstacle they hit feels catastrophic because they've never trained for it. Cold showers, intense workouts, fasting, public speaking. These aren't just random challenges. They're systematic ways to train your stress response system. They teach your body that you can handle discomfort without falling apart. But here's the catch. If you're constantly stressed, this doesn't work. There's a difference between training stress and chronic stress. Chronic stress breaks you down. Training stress builds you up. The difference is recovery. You need periods of rest between challenges. You need sleep, downtime, moments of genuine safety. That's when your nervous system integrates the training and gets stronger. The people who seem unbreakable, they're not avoiding stress. They're training with it strategically. And now you know how. But even with all of this, there's one thing that can still destroy your emotional stability. And it's something most people are doing every single day. The invisible weight. That's crushing you. Your body keeps score. Every stressful event, every sleepless night, every time you push through exhaustion, your body is tracking it. Scientists call this allostatic load. It's the cumulative wear and tear that stress puts on your system. And here's what most people don't realize. It's not the big traumatic events that break you. It's the constant low-level stress that never stops. The job you hate. The relationship that drains you. The financial pressure that never goes away. Your body is designed to handle acute stress. A threat appears, you respond. It's over, you recover. But chronic stress? That's different. That's like running a marathon that never ends. Eventually, your system starts breaking down. High blood pressure, weakened immune system, brain fog, depression. These aren't separate problems. They're all symptoms of allostatic load that's too high for too long. So how do you lower it? First, you have to stop pretending you're fine. Most people are carrying massive allostatic load and acting like it's normal. They're exhausted, anxious, and irritable, and they think that's just how life is. It's not. Second, you need variety in how you handle stress. Research shows that people who use multiple coping strategies have lower allostatic load than people who rely on just one. Don't just exercise. Also meditate. Also connect with people. Also spend time in nature. Your nervous system needs different types of recovery. Third, and this is critical, You have to remove sources of chronic stress when possible. I know that's not always easy, but staying in situations that constantly drain you isn't strength, it's slow suicide. The people who stay emotionally strong for decades? They're not tougher than you. They're just better at managing their allostatic load. They know when to push and when to rest. They know when to stay and when to leave. They treat their nervous system like the finite resource it is. Now, everything I've told you so far gives you the tools. But there's one final piece that determines whether you actually use them. The choice that changes everything. Here's what nobody tells you about emotional resilience. It's not something that happens to you. It's something you choose, every single day. You can know everything about vagal tone, neuroception, and stress inoculation. But if you don't actually apply it, nothing changes. And most people won't. They'll watch this video, feel inspired for a day, and then go right back to their old patterns. Why? Because becoming emotionally unbreakable requires something most people aren't willing to give. It requires you to feel uncomfortable on purpose, to face things you've been avoiding, to sit with difficult emotions instead of numbing them. It requires you to take cold showers when you'd rather stay warm, to have hard conversations when you'd rather stay quiet, to train your nervous system when you'd rather just relax. The people who seem naturally resilient? They're not. They just made a choice that you haven't made yet. They decided that temporary discomfort is better than permanent fragility. So here's your moment, right now. You can close this video and go back to being the person who breaks under pressure. Or you can decide that starting today, you're going to train your nervous system like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Start with the 90-second rule. The next time you feel overwhelmed, just wait. Name the emotion and let it pass. Then work on your vagal tone. Take a cold shower tomorrow morning. Breathe slowly when you feel stressed. Train your neuroception by consciously noticing when you're actually safe. Develop your interoceptive awareness by checking in with your body throughout the day. And most importantly, stop avoiding discomfort. Seek it out in small, manageable doses. That's how you build a nervous system that can handle anything. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're just untrained. And now you have the map. The question is whether you'll actually use it. Because here's the final truth. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to make you emotionally strong. That's your job. And it starts the moment you decide that being unbreakable isn't a gift some people are born with. It's a skill anyone can build. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep breaking every time life gets hard? Or are you going to become the kind of person who gets stronger because of it? The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Because every day you wait is another day you stay fragile. And you don't have time for that anymore. Now go build yourself into someone nothing can break.